Doge, government efficiency. Democrats tell you cutting government waste is an assault on the Constitution. But they literally, and we will show you, applauded when Bill Clinton promised the same thing.
We have worked to give the American people a smaller, less bureaucratic government in Washington. And we have to give the American people one that lives within its means. The era of big government is over.
We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. So I want to come on today and talk about the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. When I tell you the hypocrisy runs deep, it runs deep. Now, you know they have been talking about Elon Musk because they hate him, and Doge, right? They have been saying that this Republican president, President Trump, just wants to take over. He's Hitler. He's all of these things. This man is just bad. When really, honestly and truly, Donald Trump used to be a Democrat, all right? And honestly, Democrats used to be more conservative. You know, like the Reagan Democrats, those Democrats back in the 90s used to be more fiscally conservative. And Donald Trump really isn't doing anything different than Democrats have already done. They're just making it so sensationalized because they don't like that Donald Trump is doing it in this new era. They are used to doing things a certain way now, and they want their way. I want you guys to see this news broadcast comparing Donald Trump to Democrats and what they have said, which is literally the same thing. Watch.
Doge, government efficiency. Democrats tell you cutting government waste is an assault on the Constitution. But they literally, and we will show you, applauded when Bill Clinton promised the same thing.
We have worked to give the American people a smaller, less bureaucratic government in Washington. And we have to give the American people one that lives within its means. The era of big government is over.
We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse.
Next up, immigration, where Clinton and Trump spoke precisely the same language.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. We must do more to stop it.
We're moving with urgency and speed to get these vicious and violent criminals the hell out of our country and to restore law and order to our suburbs, our cities, and our towns.
And it seems almost unbelievable in today's Democratic Party. It shows you how far the Democratic Party has come. That Clinton once had the same stance on crime as Trump.
Really?
There must be no doubt about whose side we're on. People who commit crimes should be caught, convicted, and punished.
We will crush violent crime and protect all law enforcement, including Border Patrol, ICE, sheriffs, and Secret Service.
Now, that was Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. But there was a Clinton who took an even tougher stance on crime.
Hillary.
You might remember her name was Hillary Clinton.
Just as in a previous generation, we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
By every standard, either Clinton, but Bill Clinton certainly, would be considered a right-wing coup today.
Yes.
On some issues, he'd actually be to the right of Donald Trump. And yet, Bill Clinton is considered one of the greatest political communicators of our time, one of the great statesmen, a hero still of the Democratic Party. But when Trump champions the same issues, he's a racist, fascist dictator who wants to destroy the republic. So there was a wise man who once said, "We all do better when we work together." That was a man from a town named Hope, Bill Clinton.
All right, so you guys just saw that. Now, we're going to keep going with the hypocrisy theme, all right? Now, Bill Clinton decided he was going to come up with something called Ringo, all right? Just like Doge is made up, so was Ringo. And he was determined to get rid of the federal workforce, to cut bureaucracy, and get all these people that don't need to be here out of here so we can get what? Our money back. And Bill Clinton ended up with what? a surplus. And, that surplus that Jasmine Crockett, Miss Butterfly Lash likes to talk about, this is how he got it, getting rid of the government.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
The Reinventing Government, or RIGO, report aims to save $108 billion over 5 years through eliminating scores of wasteful programs and regulations. Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
So wait a minute, you mean to tell me that a Democrat made up a governmental agency that doesn't exist called Ringo, just like Doge was made up that doesn't exist, and they decided that they wanted to get rid of what? 12% of the federal workforce, that they wanted to go through all the bureaucracy and check on what they were spending when they had the Government Office of Accountability. They still wanted to create this. I wonder why. Yeah. Called hypocrisy. Now, everyone's favorite loud, long weave wearing, butterfly lash, I don't care about anybody but immigrants, not really Black people, because I let immigrants come in and take their tax funding. Jasmine Crockett has something to say about Doge all the time. And this particular time is no different.
Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not going to stop talking about him. We're going to keep talking about him until he is out of here. Now, if he wants to be elected or appointed and confirmed to something, then so be it. But as of right now, we have somebody that for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all just trying to play in our face because you think we're stupid, or if you literally just cannot see the difference in a George Soros and a Bill Gates. But let me give you a little bit of the difference. Number one, George Soros nor Bill Gates ever somehow decided to turn off the spigot of money that was going through to various organizations and agencies, to the extent that it had actually been ordered by law that they should have access to it, to the extent that people are dying.
There is no one dying. Jasmine Crockett is a crocker, you know what, okay? Because at the end of the day, she's lying. Let's be clear. George Soros and Bill Gates don't have to cut off any spigots because they're in the spigot, all right? George Soros gets his funding sent through all of that U.S. aid that you guys like, and he goes everywhere with it, all right? He was literally the one funding Antifa here in D.C. During the Black Lives Matter rallies, they dropped off bricks. You know why they dropped off bricks? Because groups like Antifa dropped them off just so they can create problems, just so they can create chaos. You want to know who the real fascists are? The Democrats, George Soros, and Bill Gates. Let's not even get on Bill Gates. He's in all of the vaccine funding. He's in all of the vaccine programs from here to Africa. I don't know why. He's the Microsoft man. You talk about Elon's the car man. Bill Gates is the Microsoft man. Why is he talking about vaccines? But you're worried about RFK. You guys are ass backwards.
People that have died as a result of this antic, and there are now farmers that are screaming that they may lose their family farms because we have over $500 million worth of food that is sitting and not going anywhere because of the attempt to shut down U.S. aid. So let me tell you, that is the big difference between the two of them. And let me also tell you that a big difference between Democrats and Republicans is that we don't just say we believe in the Constitution, but we walk it like we talk it. What does that mean? That means that if we believe in the Constitution, we don't just pick out the Second Amendment and say that it is limitless, nor do we pick out the First Amendment and say that it is limitless. But let's talk about who's doing the nefarious things with the tech giants. Because I don't think that one side of the aisle is promoting truth, but sometimes it may seem a little treasonous. All right, so we've got this article right here about this guy. Meta says it will end its fact-checking program on social media posts. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Then we have Washington Post says it will not endorse a candidate for president. We also know that actually they absolutely intended to endorse Kamala Harris. We have this one. Google Maps now show Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico for app users in the United States, which is a complete farce because it's the Gulf of Mexico. It always has been. And we know that the AP got kicked out yesterday because they refused to buy into this lie, because that's all y'all really want to promote is lies.
You're talking about lies. Let's be clear. The Washington Post is a liberal think piece. It's paid for just like Politico. All right. You can keep saying it's for subscriptions. Politico is bought and paid for $8 million worth. That's why they don't want you digging into U.S. aid. And let's also get into some other lies. You guys had Meta on your side. Are we to forget? Are we to forget that Meta, which is AKA Mark Zuckerberg, was already testifying that the Biden administration told him that he had to censor people? Like, I don't understand. She's of Congress. How do you not know these things? Because you're Trump deranged. You talk about lies. Everything on you is a lie. She never talks about how the Democratic Party sits here creating all of the things that harm Americans. Let's not act like Edward Snowden didn't tell on Barack Obama, okay? That was Barack Obama that was spying on the American people, not a Republican. That wasn't even George Bush. That was literally Barack Obama, okay? If you know the NSA, you understand these things, but she doesn't. All she knows is how to be slick at the mouth, using hip-hop slang, walk it like I talk it. You know, are you playing in our face? Well, yeah, you're playing in our face because you want us to believe that everything on you is real when I can clearly see them butterfly lashes that stick out to here are not real. And that poster you have in the back is not real because you're not telling facts.
So listen, I just want y'all to be honest. You want to sit here, you want to lie, because so often we hear, well, you know, yeah, we did lie. In fact, he admitted that he lied when he was in the Oval Office yesterday. But if it's a lie that will get you into office, such as saying, I know nothing about Project 2025, yet on day one, you literally do everything that you can to implement it, including making sure that you put, say, one of the main architects of Project 2025 over the OMB, it's okay, so long as you get the power that you seek. The problem is that the game is going to be on the American people. And when I say the American people, I mean all of us. Unfortunately, I am also stuck in the twilight zone because of the lies that were allowed to be propagated. Just like when you're talking about vaccines and all this nonsense. Right now in my state of Texas, there is an outbreak of measles. And what they are finding is that because there's been so much disinformation about vaccines that kids are sick right now with measles that they did not have to have if they just trusted doctors and experts instead of randoms online.
And we're just supposed to trust a random who just happened to get into Congress because all those black and brown bodies that she talks about down in her district, you know, those illegal ones, they put her in office. So yes, that woman right there is a whole lie. Her face is a whole lie. That hair is a whole lie. Those nails are a whole lie. And her whole party is a lie. The tech giants were funded under Joe Biden. Joe Biden decided to fund them. Elon Musk was funded under Joe Biden. What is this woman talking about? Those governmental contracts came because NASA couldn't do it. And so Elon has to do it. Just like Elon has to go and save astronauts because the United States government and NASA couldn't do it. What is she talking about? Trump deranged and frankly, just ratchet. All right, so you guys just saw all that. So here are my thoughts. Let's pour it up. Ratchet Jasmine Crockett or anybody on the left, they are spewing nonsense at this point. They don't like Donald Trump. They don't like Elon. They don't like Doge. But the reality is they're hypocritical because the Democrats have done everything Donald Trump is saying to do now. And Jasmine Crockett is the main one talking about Bill Clinton's era. Well, Bill Clinton has done exactly what Donald Trump is proposing to do. Yes, cut the federal government. He cut it over 12%. All right. He also cut out spending. He also cut out a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, like just nonsense that doesn't need to be there. He knew his own party was full of it. And so does Jasmine Crockett. And so does the rest of the Democrats in present day. They just don't like Donald Trump. They're deranged. They're ratchet. And frankly, they're out of touch, just like any liberal. However, I could be wrong. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the hypocrisy of Democrats talking about Doge when they had Ringo. Okay. They had their own made up department, Ringo, but they don't like Doge. I guess they don't like the name, you know, because some like Whoopi call it doggy. Child, I digress. Get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl, Mika, and I'm out. Peace.